What is going on, everybody? It's Wolf here, and I'm back with a brand new video. And today we are tackling a topic that always seems to show up in the Ethereum community. What is that topic, you may ask? The topic is, can you stop being a Ethereum? And if you can, does that mean you were never a real Ethereum? So let's talk about it. We're going to be talking about it deeply accurate and with absolutely zero misinformation, guys. I've done similar videos before in the past, with how I felt unsafe in the LGBTQ communities and all of that, and also the furry fandom. I think I've gone over a topic of that. I've gone over some topics before. But what is Darren2P exactly? So what Darren2P actually is, alright? Darren2P is an identity, a non-physical, non-literal, physiological, or spiritual identification as an animal. It is a deep internal sense of non-human alignment, alright? It is something shaped by personal experience, evolution of self, and internal worldviews, alright? This is part of the broader Alterhuman umbrella. Darren2P is not, and I repeat, not pretending to be an animal. Why the fuck would someone want to do that, right? A phase in the way of, if it is not a phase in the including way people mean it, it is not a delusion or hallucination. It is not roleplay at all, guys. I don't know why in the world people are literally saying this about Darren2P. It is not roleplay at all by any means. That's furry and not Therian, alright? And Darren2P is not something that depends on shifting. Because some Therians shift, some Therians don't. And some Therians go through long periods of time of, shifting, and some go long periods of time without shifting, alright? Darren2P is not something that must last forever, because nothing is forever, guys. Nothing at all. And here is a identity theory. Why identities change, alright? This is the foundation that makes this whole debate make sense. Because identities can change because people change, right? Because people change interests, beliefs, self-understanding, spiritual views, physiological interpretations of themselves, right? So, Darren2P depends on identifying as an animal, right? If that internal experience changes, the identity changes along with it, alright? Now, I'm gonna be addressing something. I'm gonna be addressing the YouTuber named Gecko. You all know Gecko, right? Unforgetful Gecko, right? He is a staple in the Ethereum community, right? So I am going to be going over this because he made a short right here. So I'm gonna be addressing that in just a few minutes. All right. We will watch this together as I go through everything. So yeah, because in Gecko's short, right, and these are accurate from the short, all right, because Gecko said Darren2P is an identity. A Therian is someone who identifies as an animal. That is correct. This is the widely accepted definition amongst long-term Therians, early 2000 alt.humanity community, if you guys remember that, and if you guys are part of that, then awesome. and it's also a widely accepted definition among modern physiologically based ultrahuman spaces, right? And also spiritual Therians, non-spiritual physiological Therians, all of that. And Gecko also says, if you stop identifying as an animal, then you would no longer be a Therian. That is correct. Because identity requires, identity. So, if you no longer have that internal worldview, you are no longer the label that matches it, right? So, and then this is actually very, very interesting to me, because Gecko also said, in the short, identity is fluent and can change. That is correct, because this matches the gender identity research, the queer identity evolution, alterhuman historical forms, and human development studies and community experience, right? Because people are not statistic creatures, right? People are not static creatures, alright? And then Gecko also went on to saying, you weren't fake if you stop identifying that way, right? This is completely true, because fake equals lying. Changing identity does not equal lying. People shift, grow, and evolve, right? Sorry about that, everybody. I am back. Anyways. So, what information did he not say, right? This is a good thing, alright? Gecko did not claim that Therians are literally animals, that Therian is a mental illness, that Therian is spiritual only, that shifting must happen, that all Therians are the same. Because his video is missing nuisance, but nothing he said is misinformation, guys, alright? And I'm gonna be going into the deeper details that I could add on to what Gecko was saying, alright? Because this will make, my point stand out from the others. Today I got a sponsorship for you. Introducing Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is a energy drink, and you can get a 10% discount if you use my code Wolfie172, and if you go to this website, everything will be in the description of the video and also in the comments. Rogue Energy is for you, because whether you're gaming on a run or if you're on an adventure in a forest, Rogue Energy is for you. Why should you consider buying Rogue Energy? Because the energy will flow within you. Go to this website, rogueenergy.com, and enter my code Wolfie172 for a 10% discount. Rogue Energy will fill you in your day. Get Rogue Energy now at this website and enter my code Wolfie172 for a discount of 10%. Thank you for this segment. Now let's get back into the video. Wolfie out. Go here now and enter this code on Rogue Energy's website now. So, physiological models of theory, alright? So, the identity model, the neurotype-based model, species dysphoria model, the connection model, alright? What each one means, alright? The identity model, alright? This is, who people are internally. And then the neurotype-based model, alright? This one is feeling non-human due to cognition patterns. And then the species dysphoria model, alright? Feeling discomfort in one's human traits. And this is the connection model. This is what this means. Feeling aligned with a specific animal's instincts or worldview. These are some spiritual models, alright? Past life beliefs, Tomic or energy-based interpretation. Sorry, I don't know how to say it, so don't come after me. And then soul-based identification and animal spirit companions. Alright? So now I'm going to be going on to, identity fluidity comparisons, right? So identity that can change, right? You have the gender fluent identities, religion identities, right? The spiritual beliefs, the neurodivergent self-understanding. You have the orientation labels, the otherkin labels, the otherkin identity, sorry. The political identity, and the cultural identity, alright? And identity isn't supposed to be locked forever, alright, everyone? So I'm gonna debunk some things in this video, right? I've already debunked it all, but I'm gonna go through this over again, alright? You can't stop being a Therian. False. Identity changes, guys. If you stopped being a Therian, you were fake. That is false. That's guilt tripping. Shifting defined to Therian. No. Many Therians did not shift, as I said. Therian is furry. That is false. Different identities, different reasons, Because what a furry is someone who likes anthropomorphic animals, right? Animals with human-like features, right? This doesn't only, include animals. It could include insects, mystical creatures, because those are animals, right? Just anything that has, either, just fur or wings, scales, whatever, Animal, bug, doesn't matter. Gerontopy is a mental illness. That is false. It's not in any diagnostic manuals, guys. I'll tell you that one. Therians think they are literally, physically animals. No. Very few, and that's not the community norm, guys. And this is the core message that my video is about, alright? Gerontopy is an identity. If your identity changes, that does not mean you erase your past identity. Because people grow, people evolve, people change how they experience themselves, and every single stage is valid. So, anyways, guys, identity is something living, something that grows with you. If someone identifies as an animal, they're Therian. If that changes later, that doesn't make them fake at all. It means they're human enough to evolve, alright? And I'm gonna put up a comparison chart. Probably won't, because I'm lazy. And so, everybody, I'm gonna, go on to explaining species dysphoria, alright? What is species dysphoria, you may ask, right? Species dysphoria is basically where, your animal identity becomes so strong that it hurts, and you really feel that animal really deep inside of you, wanting to come up to the surface, and that's completely valid, everybody. That's completely valid, because I don't want I don't want to compare it to gender dysphoria because they're two different things in a way. Like, you know what I mean, right? Because species dysphoria and gender dysphoria have similar attributes. Well, they actually are basically, you know, attributes of the same thing, because you have, gender dysphoria, that's the gender thing. Gender is an identity, right? But then you have stereotypy, which is also an identity, right? So those things clash together, right? So, everybody. Anyways, everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and share. And anyways, guys, we're going to watch this short together so you can see what Gekko has said.
You can stop being Etherean. Wow. Okay. That's a debate topic, right, isn't it? So let me explain my thoughts on this. So I always see, I'm sure you see it too, people saying stuff along the lines of how you can't stop being Etherean because it means you were never one in the first place, or, whatever. Any sort of argument saying you cannot stop identifying as one. And I'm here to say that that is completely untrue. And I'm going to tell you why. Therianthropy is an identity. It is the entity that one is an animal. It is identifying as an animal. A Therian is someone who identifies as an animal. If you don't identify as an animal, then you are not a Therian. There are other ultra-human labels. Anyway, I'm not getting into that debate. Identifying as an animal is Therianthropy. I am a Therian because I identify as an animal, and I identify as an animal because I feel disconnected to humans, and I don't relate to humans in the way that a human should. And I find that relation to non-human animals, which is why I identify as one. Right? Right, cool. But it is an identity, right? I didn't always used to identify like this. A few years ago, I fully identified myself as a human, and I was happy with that. And then the way I started feeling started changing, and my output on who I was changed too. Right up to the level as Etherean to better fit who I am. Maybe sometime in the future, I could very, very well, my view of myself could change again, and I could view myself as human again. And then I wouldn't be Etherean anymore, because my original experience for even identifying as an animal wouldn't match me, so I wouldn't use the label anymore, right? And that doesn't make you a fake Therian, doesn't mean you were never a Therian. I was still an ultra-human at some point, I'm just not anymore, because identity is fluid and constantly changing, alright? It's a very interesting thing to experience, and it's not a fixed thing. And if you go off the logic that you cannot change your output and your view of yourself, then that just invalidates everyone. Like, if you cannot change how you view yourself and how you feel, then ultra-humanity wouldn't exist in the first place, because you would not be able to even have feelings about yourself differently than how you already are, which is human. You wouldn't be able to feel any differently about that. Same with trans people. You wouldn't be able to feel like a different gender. You wouldn't. And also gender fluidity? Nah, that would just not exist if we go off this wacky logic. Identity is fluid and changing, and you can stop identifying and feeling connected to something, and it doesn't make you fake. It just means you're changing, and that's okay. So please, stop spreading this misinformation. This is not how it works. Anyway, I don't know how to end this, because I don't know how to talk to people. I just rant, and then I stop, so, see ya, or whatever.
Well, everybody, that was certainly interesting, was it not? Everything that Gekko said, I basically went over, but I just went into deeper detail. Alright, so anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, again, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and share. Anyways, guys, remember, stay true, stay positive, and it's Wolfie, and I'm out. Peace!